A direct assault on France has occurred, with the British Redcoats taking over a small French castle within Paris. They've assembled their soldiers across the walls of said castle, as well as within the neighboring houses in an attempt to start a defense against the French response. And the French response will be swift. Thousands of French line infantry troopers descending upon their once fortress to recapture it from the British army. Can the French defeat the British in urban musket warfare, or will they lose this sector of France and have to continue the war elsewhere? If you guys do enjoy these videos, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Now, let's get into this thing. I can't sugarcoat it for you boys, the start of this thing is going to be laggy with such a small map and thousands of soldiers across it, plus Born in the Fire America mod being laggy in general, but we'll have to get through the beginning here in order to get to the gold mine of musket warfare later on. The British soldiers here begin to spam fire into the French lines. Of course, they get one volley off and then instantly have to reload, and they receive a ton of incoming fire as well. A number of those musket bullets tearing through their men here. A couple soldiers get lucky and just have their hats knocked off, while others, well, they're like Swiss cheese now at this point within France, and it is not good. Others further back fare a little bit better, but even still, the British are not prepared for this quantity of French firepower coming through. Luckily, the British have taken a little bit of a page from the book of the old American Revolution and tossed guerrilla warfare soldiers throughout the houses in France to try and sprinkle fire across the French lines and duck and cover when the French respond with fire of their own in an attempt to try and slow down their advance and maybe get a few more kills than they would get in a standard line battle. Over on the south side of the city over here, we have a number of Frenchmen spreading out across the city streets, a much more open avenue area leading straight up into the castle bulwarks ahead. Now, there are two cannons on top of the ramparts of the castle. I'm not sure if they're firing yet. There's a shot right there, and it misses horribly. In a very laggy manner, of course. Yes, you can see the wall defenses are firing away, and at this distance, they definitely have the advantage because French being able to hit the ramparts from that range is next to no chance, and the British just destroy a huge section of their own line. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. I just want to pause to show off just how badly the British just messed up. They blew up an entire area of defensive barricade over here, killing like 4 or 5 different troopers. Hopefully some of these guys are just unconscious and not fully dead, but even still, I see a floating leg that's about to land as we are paused here. So that is a huge mistake right there. Wow, that cannon really tore them asunder. While we're paused, why don't we check out the losses real quick. Red are dead Frenchmen, yellow are dead British soldiers, and honestly, the French are doing better than the British right now, but hopefully these guerrilla warfare units all throughout these city buildings here can manage to start to stop the French. That might happen, but we just won't know for sure for a little bit. Either way, let's unpause here, and then why don't we watch time-lapse formation, because we're getting 5 FPS, now 4 FPS, so we might as well watch a time-lapse of the French coming forward this alleyway here for a little bit. Alright, the French, it appears, have advanced a decent bit farther in. I am seeing more losses for them, so maybe the guerrilla warfare style tactics are starting to kick in for the British. Let's actually verify that. So red are dead French, yellow are dead British soldiers. Definitely more dead French on the battlefield, but still some of these houses over here are getting cleared out of the British without putting up too much of a fight, so they're not quite doing it as well as the Americans did. And then over on this side, some more French dying in that building, but mostly British getting shot from afar. I don't know how this one random troop died, but hey, we'll take it. I think it is going to honestly have to be up to the castle itself to defend. This cannon has 2 kills. This one has 2 kills as well, so at least they're getting some kills after destroying a huge portion of the British's own lines here, which is good. Let's go ahead and watch these barricades here for a bit, because I think we are going to be able to see the French on the left side coming forward, as well as the French on the right side coming forward, and there's still a very solid number of British soldiers and guards over here, ready to hopefully stop the French invasion in its tracks. See if that's actually true, but we definitely need some more stopping power from the Brits. Actually, they're taking down entire building sides right there. That's what we like to see. Land those buildings on top of the Frenchmen. That's what we need, is mass casualty situations from those cannons. So that is beautiful right there. If we could see some more of that, that would be fantastical. That would be very nice. Alright, the British lads continue their defense over here, and they're surprisingly still standing, which is rather nice to see. The French are trying to push through this corner over this way, but getting kind of slaughtered in the process. Look at all the bodies at the bottom of this. And then also, they're getting butchered over this way, too. Let's go ahead and pause so we can move around without the lag, and check out the dead. So, more British dying sort of in the middle, but also some French getting sniped out over here, likely from the actual ramparts defense over here, which is actually coming in clutch for them. There's also still a lot of French soldiers underneath this building here. They've taken a few more losses as they try and kind of work their way up and kill these British troops over here. Same thing somewhat happening over this way, as the French outside are actually taking some massive losses from, I think, British sharpshooters inside the building over here. So that is very, very big for them. The French getting slowed down massively from British defenders. So let's go ahead and why don't we watch the wall defense over here kind of happening, and see them sniping out some of the French over this way and providing cover fire for the British down here at these barricades, because that is going to be a continuing crucial part of this defense battle here. They've dropped the British flag, but the flag bearer has whipped out his rifle, so I think it's, you know, kind of a necessary moment, as the French started this thing by absolutely clobbering the British. I think the British have to respond in full force. Maybe holding a flag is not the most important at this moment in time, so let's watch. Okay, for the first time, we're kind of seeing the French actually pushing through this way. We do have some British grenadiers countering that. That man just gets shot in the chest right there before the grenade goes off. Unlucky for him. But yes, we are seeing the French coming out of these buildings and starting to take out some more of these British soldiers, which is absolutely devastating for the Brits. Now, of course, they still have the castle fortress back there, so that'll be good. But, wow! Okay. Cannon blasting through this building, toppling a number of British soldiers that were hanging out in the top parts of the building right there, and also crushing a number of Frenchmen below. Was it worth it? What did it cost? Now, the French have kind of stopped coming through this way. They're still trying to deal with this building over here to very little avail, because every time they pop up those stairs, they get shot down. Now over here, I don't even know if the Brits have lost any troopers over here. No, they have not. The castle is still fully intact, and in fact, their cannons, this one has 17 kills now, and this one has 13. So they are single-handedly helping out the British a huge amount. That is very, very nice for them. And of course, we still have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Frenchmen all throughout here, all in the bottoms of these buildings and stuff like that. So it is pretty crazy, pretty hectic over here. I am wondering if they'll be able to keep up this fight without too much progress currently really being made. Why don't we try and kind of watch the beehive of Frenchmen in these buildings maneuvering about and trying to take out some of the British soldiers inside. I actually see a British soldier getting beaten down and bayoneted at the bottom right there. That's crazy. But yeah, let's watch the progress here. Okay, so the French are continuing to mill about over here. The lag is getting better, which means both sides have suffered some serious losses to have that happen. Red are dead Frenchmen. It's a little hard to tell because they do kind of glow red inside the buildings here as well. So yeah, a little hard to tell, but you can see there a lot have died as the buildings have kind of collapsed around them, which is a very fair strategy. I don't know if the British cannons get credit for those kills or what. This one's got 20 kills, this one's got 42, which is a lot of kills, but it might not account for all of the buildings falling down. That might be like an environmental kill technically, but hey, the Levolution is hype, I must say. The French over here continue to actually die pretty badly as they finally get a kill on one of the British soldiers in the attic up there, but the rest of them are still chilling. So the French definitely doofing right now, but also British do be doofing too. What are those cannon shots from the British? I don't know. They're crazy bad. Let's watch an overhead of the castle walls here actually firing into the French houses across the way. Five more minutes have passed here, and I have noticed a couple of the troops on the wall itself getting shot. Doesn't necessarily mean they die, but a few of them have. However, yep, right there, they are now starting to get more targeted. I don't know, maybe from these French guys, or oh, it's probably from these guys in this house here. Now, there are still a few pesky Brits over the top of these Frenchmen, kind of keeping them from going forward, and is still grenades going down from said British soldiers, which is crazy. Look at this one. This could kill a lot of Frenchmen down here. Holy cow. Let's see. Oh, dang. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that killed a bunch of French soldiers right there. Holy smokes. A ton of French linemen over here are dead at this point. The Brits are holding out really nicely. This is going to be a longer battle, I mean, obviously, because the British continue to shred at this point against the French. Let's watch the cannons in motion for a bit here, because that seems like it'll be pretty fun to see them hitting the houses and potentially killing a lot of Frenchmen all at once. Eight minutes later, and the walls remain intact. Lots of firepower going out this way, and an entire building has crumbled over here now, which is rather insane. The French still have not killed a number of these Brits up here, and actually, some of them have crazy kills. Like this Grenadier up here, 35 kills. This guy has none, but he's kind of not facing anything, so I don't know how he would get some kills. And over here, these Brits also still very much so alive, which is crazy. Absolutely bonkers. We'll just go ahead and continue to let this ride and watch, because might as well. There's still so many Frenchmen left alive and so many Brits left alive. I say we just keep her going. So weirdly, a group of Frenchmen kind of broke out and went over here, and it ended up in a slaughter of them. But 2 officers remain, and they ended up killing some of the British Redcoats, but also I think the cannons were firing down that way too. What I'm guessing happened is 1 or 2 of the British Redcoats up here ended up dying, and these guys were like aggroing on them. And that's kind of why that happened. Let's try to just kind of like assign a couple squads to just kill these guys. And I mean, hopefully they can do it. They're like seriously derping right now. So we're gonna try to get them unstuck. Maybe if we just send these guys like into the building here, like force them into these spots, kinda. Might kinda work. I'm not totally sure. It's not really up. Some climbed up and died, I can already see. But more are coming. Oh, that's my dog, Bjorken. Okay, sorry. Had to go do something. So yeah, let's just kind of send some of these Frenchmen into the building. Some of them already look like they've gotten into the building too, which is great, but it really seems like they are struggling to kill these last few soldiers in here, and it's more of a derp thing than anything. There's not even really all that much combat going on anymore. Can we just like have them assault this officer? Like for real, like what is the problem, people? Like a bunch of these guys got into these buildings here, and they're proceeding to not engage them. Like what is happening? Let's see what happens with these guys getting ordered into the building over this way. I hear and see gunshot. There we go. There's one. What about this guy? That's why I ordered you to attack. Whatever. Yeah, 1 is a victory. 1 is huge. I just saw another fella get shot down. That was a Frenchman, though. This street-to-street combat doesn't work super well when it comes to muskets. Okay, let's be honest. These guys in these buildings. Oh, that guy finally died. Let's go. Okay. Never mind. I was gonna say they're probably not gonna die. Oh, there goes another one. Maybe? No, he's still right there. Oy vey, please, someone go get these guys. So we have one here named Jaden Alien. What a name. Jaden Alien. Can we like... Alright, look, Jaden. Just exit the building. To your death. Try and surrender. He's dead. Good. Okay, at least that blockade is over. So now the French might actually attack the castle here. They've still got hundreds of soldiers. It was just 3 troopers who were giving them so much pain. And really that was kind of the anti-derp rule. In effect, just preventing the derpening. That blockade's still up. I know there's some guys in that building too, but hey, at the very least the French might start moving in on the castle over this way, and we might get to see more action. The castle walls, firing their cannons, things like that. Remember, the interior of the castle still has a bunch of people inside of it, so even if the outside falls, the inside is still very, very solvent. Let's go ahead and watch for a bit as the French finally kind of come out of those areas and push the castle. we are looking at actual progress on the battlefield now. It feels so good. Look at that grenade. Holy cow. That's one of the Brits inside that building now, taking the mantle of the other fella who died recently, so very impressive. This building still occupied by some Brits, I believe. Yes, many Brits inside this building still. Try and order the French to take some of them out. They're completely failing to do so most of the time, though, so I don't think they're going to get much done. But the French now taking over the British ramparts over this way and firing at them. The British ramparts responding in kind. Of course, those cannons still being the biggest sweats of the British army during this time. We've also got some fire from inside the little keep area here. Not these guys up here. They're kind of like the final stand for this area. But the guys below them are firing away from their primitive barricades. Lovely. Cannon shot taking out a light post as well as some French soldiers over that way too. Absolutely incroyable. Incroyable indeed. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch the ramparts fighting for a bit. More time has gone by in the battle, and more Brits are dead. The wall is suffering more and more losses as time does indeed go on here. But the cannons are still operational, and that's going to keep the Brits in this fight. Now, the Frenchmen here, a lot of them are now kind of stuck in the tops of these buildings, so because we put them in there. Let's take a number of them out. I think they can also climb in there themselves, technically. Yeah, we need to take them out so they're not stuck up there for good. That'd be good. Very nice. Oh, those guys were behind the building. My bad. And then we've still got 2 more Brits over here. Can you guys please take them out? God dang. Like, what do we have to do here? Jeez. It's like, eliminate them already. Go. All right. Either way, we shall see. There's also 1 Brit up this way. A Grenadier is still alive, but beyond that, it truly is the fortress left alive. It'll be interesting to see if the French are just going to kind of dwindle out now, or if they'll manage to do something. It seems kind of 50-50 at this point in time. Sure, the Brits are losing a few soldiers on the wall itself, but not really amounting to too much. I guess we'll just have to find out. Alright, well, the French, they continue to actually get a decent number of kills here. Quite a number of the Brits on the wall are dead now, but look at the sheer number of dead Frenchmen now. That is absolutely absurd. I think, yeah, all the Brits did finally die out of there. There's still 1 guy up here. I'm just gonna bring him down. I just want the French to actually attack the castle now. That's all I want, okay? We also need to take these guys down so they're no longer in the building. So please vacate the premises and actually attack. All right, beautiful. So those guys are popping on out of there. They should begin their assault instead of just like chilling now. Let's also go ahead and I think we can bump it up to normal speed now as the battle rages on. Now, the French do have some solid positions, particularly in this barricaded area. I think they should be able to get some kills on the remaining British soldiers over here without suffering too many losses, unless those cannons end up really gunning for them. But right now, the cannons are more interested in firing at these Frenchmen who just came out of the building over there from killing the last remaining British soldiers in that area. So this is probably where the Brits are going to be mainly firing going at with those cannons, as well as these troopers on this side of the wall getting some good cracks in against these guys. The French trying to slap back, but they are in like basically line battle formation here out in the open. A very classic style of attack here, which is not exactly working out. The barricades over here, though, very, very promising for the Frenchmen. They're also using this building over here for decent cover. Oh! Okay. That's pretty nasty right there. Really very solid shot with the cannon. That's rough. That is not going to be good if those cannons really start to round off fire into the boys over this way. Are there any Frenchmen, like, over here still? Not really. Oh, there's a bunch back here. Who are y'all shooting? Huh? They're like just shooting up at the house. Okay, go over here. You guys get out of the building. Like, I feel like I'm having to anti-derp a lot in the Born in the Fire America mod lately because it's just such a derpy mod in general. But let's go ahead and take those Frenchmen out and... like, are they frozen here? Like, what's the problem? Let's just move them out of that area, and they should actually attack over that way now, which would be great to see. Actual action on the battlefield would be fantastic. I think the Brits are pretty much guaranteed a victory at this point. I do hate to say it. I think the French have kind of lost their momentum overall. Not that they ever even had momentum. Let's be completely honest. The British have been destroying them overall, but still. Let's go ahead and watch this barricade fighting from the French perspective against the Brits. Five more minutes in full speed, and it seems as though it's just kind of skirmishing right now. The French do have a very solid number of troopers still left alive, kind of in little pockets here. I'm going to just maneuver them to get a little bit closer to the actual battlefield, because there's still a huge number of them just chilling and doing absolutely nothing. So we'll move them to the barricade at the very least to give them their best shot, but I do genuinely believe it's probably going to be it for the French, but we might as well give them their best possible effort going forward here and watch that just to make it interesting. Wow, this is turning into a big grind fest right now. The French still haven't taken out the cannoneers up that way, but they have eliminated almost the entirety of this wall and this wall over here, so it's kind of only a matter of time before they descend upon the center over this way. Now, will they have enough soldiers to actually push through? I really don't know, but it could happen, so let's find out. Hey, another kill right there. Beautifully done. Oh, we are still going 7 minutes later. This is crazy. The Frenchmen just continuing to pour fire into the Brits. The Brits, I don't think they actually have the angle for their guns up there to fire anymore. This is interesting. I really don't know what the heck's going on, so let's just keep watching. Alright, 8 minutes have gone by, and we went ahead and went into turbo speed, but still, the French are just kind of chilling here. We'll squad them up, but yeah, nothing's really happening. At least they're still firing, so I guess we continue to let it ride for now. It's been another 11 minutes, and this battle has now been going on for well over 2 hours. So what we're gonna do is do a final charge of the French army, forcing these guys into an assault now. This is it. Oh. Tough. Very tough. Okay. Another tough shot right there, but those cannons are going to take some serious time to go ahead and actually reload. Oh, these guys are just going straight up onto the ramparts. They see their targets, and they completely miss. Grenade inbound. Okay. Wow. Born in the Fire America mod is one of those mods where either the battle goes so quickly, it's over in a millisecond, or it is super long and drawn out. This is definitely one of those longer drawn out ones, but thank goodness for time-lapse technology. It helps tremendously. More grenades going out. This time the French do manage to stop those uh-oh. More grenades. Once again, the French managing to deflect, I guess you could say, those granatas, which is fantastic. But we might be having another. Yeah. They just keep coming. This time around, this guy's busy reloading, so he gets got by the granata. These Frenchmen are slowly but surely dying out here. I don't think the French are going to be retaking their Paris fort on this day. I believe it to be lost, as the British still do have a bunch of troopers over this way. This would actually be a pretty sweet death tunnel video, to be completely honest, so perhaps we will do that in the future, maybe expanding the walls out to like go into the city here and then having this be the back of the death tunnel and then still having the ramparts incorporated. That would be pretty cool. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. I think I probably will do that either way. But we have one French officer here still alive. Let me pot shot. Nope. Okay, wait, hold on. Go, whoop. Hold on, I got this. Boom, nope, completely whiffed it, and he's dead. Rip the dream. But we have thousands of dead Frenchmen. Red are dead French, yellow are dead British, and the French did get a solid number of kills, but it was nowhere near enough. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.